Okay. It looks like we are live. How is everyone doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jason Levine, and on today's live stream, continuing the theme from yesterday, all about working from home. Today it's about, well, if you're working from home, what about collaborating from home using a tool that you have as part of Creative Cloud, which is Creative Cloud, or which are Creative Cloud libraries. Now, I'm going to obviously go from a slightly more video-focused use of libraries, show a little bit of Photoshop as well. But the great benefit of libraries, much like just sort of cloud service in general, is that if you store particular assets that you'll reuse over and over again, what's up, District Create? Things like brushes, per se, in Photoshop, or graphical elements, whether these are vector shapes or other graphics that you've created in Illustrator, maybe in Photoshop, maybe even via Adobe Capture CC, our mobile app. You can store all of these things in libraries, and then you have the ability to recall them, to bring them into your projects wherever you go. And more importantly, if you're working with others, now that many of us are working from home, and for many of you in Northern California, sheltered from home, so you can't even leave the house now, but you might be still needing to work with people, and maybe you're commonly using logos, you're commonly using lower third elements, you're commonly using graphical elements. This is going to enable you to store those in even a shared Creative Cloud library, and then whenever you log into your system, wherever you are, that stuff is there, okay? So it's just one additional way to make working with others and, you know, the ability to just very quickly upload things and share them without having to send notifications or put stuff in a new Dropbox or whatever it is. It's just kind of right there whenever you sign in, wherever you sign in. You'll even be able to access and see the content on your mobile device if you have the Creative Cloud mobile app as well. So as always, we're coming to you live on Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, and Behance. So thank you so much for joining. I see we've got Chris Pendy. Going to have to watch it later. That's okay. The replays will be available immediately after we stop the stream. Claudia from Romania, always great to see you. Shika Dealzia, love you too. Thank you so much. Mohammed Fauzi, hello, my friend. And we've got Desiree, hey, and Kelly McCatherine, and coming to us live on the tubes here. Steve, my dear friend Steve C. from New Zealand, how are you? BJRN from Germany. All right, District Create from good old DC. Okay, so I want to try and keep this one a bit short today. A lot of stuff to cover as always. But again, if you're not already using libraries, really, I mean, you should. You're missing out. You're missing out on some really cool things. And for nothing else, like I said, if you're commonly creating, especially video content where you're reusing logos, lower thirds, animations, frankly, anything that you can create in After Effects can be turned into a motion graphics template, which can then be shared inside of libraries, which I'll show you. It's always there. I don't have to go looking for stuff, and I can't tell you how many times, even still, and I use libraries, I'm like, oh, where's that logo? Why didn't I just save it into a library? Well, I'm going to do that today. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and switch over to my screen. And we'll start in Premiere and just kind of give you a brief, really quick overview of how this all kind of comes together and what you can expect, all right? So if you are in the library's workspace in Premiere, and of course you don't have to be, you can just open up the individual libraries panel, but we do have a specific libraries workspace. As I always say, you can also access that via the Workspaces menu under Window, or you can simply open the libraries panel independently from the Window menu. Up at the top here, you've got a couple of different things you can do. So first and foremost, of course, libraries in Premiere Pro is your gateway to Adobe Stock. Now, I'm not going to cover that. We've shown a bunch of that over time. I'll get back to it again. But again, you can search Adobe Stock, current library, all libraries if you're looking for specific content. Okay, so you can search your own libraries for stuff if you know the names. You can also do searches on Adobe Stock. Fine. That's not why we're here, though. Why we're here is that currently I'm in something called Jason's Library. Now, this is just my own library. If I click on this, what you'll see is that I have a whole series of libraries, some of which are shared. In fact, this one right here, Jason and Terry, I talk about this all the time. This is a shared library that my colleague Terry White and I use all the time. In fact, I'm going to put some stuff in there in a couple minutes. So as I upload, logos or lower third graphics for our live streams, hey, Terry, use this one. He has instant access to those right away. or images, or motion graphics templates, or downloadable video, or etc. You get the idea. Okay, so this denotes this little icon here showing you that we've got a shared library, okay, versus just libraries just for me. So we're going to start here in Jason's library. All right. Now you have approximately, what is it, about 10 or 11 different categories of things that can be stored in libraries. Now, not all of these apply to the video apps. The first one at the top, of course, though, does, and that's graphics. And if we take a look here, you're going to see a combination of things. So some of these are images. These are images that I licensed. You can see this one right here, this video camera lens. I wound up using this for some thumbnails in some of my videos. This was a licensed image from Adobe Stock. And when I licensed it as an image, it goes right into the graphics section. So again, if I wanted to take this and just start using it inside of my video here, I could drag this down and instantly drop it right into my timeline just like that. Oh, that's kind of a cool image. Doesn't necessarily fit my Sabi Sabi Africa background, but again, I want to get creative with this. Let's go ahead and throw a little blend mode on there. All right, and then we could do some kind of cool rotation or something. We could animate some rotation. And now we're cooking with graphics. All right, not that I would necessarily do that. It's getting a little out of hand, but, you know, we could if we wanted to. All right, something like that. Looks very 60s all of a sudden, okay? So, graphics. Now, that's an image, of course. You also have access to graphical elements, vector-based elements, SVG elements that you may have captured from Adobe Capture CC. Now, I've shown this on the live stream many times, just a few weeks ago, in fact. And if you look here, you're going to see some of the various captures that I've done. So this is actually one that we did on screen. So this was just a little hand drawing of myself, John Lennon style. And I saved that through CC Libraries. So I can actually bring in this SVG file directly into Premiere Pro. Now, when it imports into Premiere, it'll actually come in as a PNG file, okay? Now, of course, Premiere does not support vector natively. If we wanted to work with vectors and have them infinitely scalable, ideally we would bring this into After Effects, right? And then we could rescale and animate, and then we never lose detail. You still have the ability, and you can see here, it comes in with the alpha channel preserved, okay? So we can still do some things to this, but just to kind of show you, again, not vector here. So if we scale this up, you know, it's going to be pixelated and stuff like that, right? So if you want to maintain vectors, you would obviously just work with this in After Effects and then use something like a dynamic link into Premiere to maintain those. But the cool thing is that you can just drag these graphics in their native size right into Premiere Pro. You can animate them, you can scale them, you can add effects, you can do whatever you want, and they just work, okay? Just like that. So we're bringing in, again, graphics captured as SVG on the phone, saved to a library, manipulate them, manipulate the vectors in Illustrator or After Effects, and then bring them directly into Premiere Pro, right? Even something like, scroll ahead here. That's cool. I like that shot. I did this, again, this little documentary that one of these days I'll finish on analog synthesizers. I took a picture of the Moog logo on the back of my synth. So again, there's the Moog logo. All right, and if we just wanted to do like a really fast, again, it's all pixelated there. So, and look at that, that's 10,000 pixels. So maybe we'll move this off screen a little like this. I'm just doing this for fun, just to kind of show you that, again, you have some manipulation capabilities here. So we'll bring this back down, say to 540. All right, put that right there. And then let's scale this all the way down to 0. It's going to go super fast. All right. Flying our Moog logo in and out. All right. But again, this was captured on the phone through Adobe Capture, saved to the CC library. I could manipulate all of those vertices in After Effects or Illustrator, and now I can just drag it right into Premiere. Okay, so graphics contains Illustrator type graphics, vector graphics, but of course they'll come in as rasterized PNGs in Premiere Pro, and images as well, licensed from Adobe Stock, or your own images that you can drag into there. Okay, and we'll come back to that in just a few minutes. All right. Now, of course, you also have video, right? So these are all of your downloaded licensed or unlicensed videos from Adobe Stock, right? So you can access all of these here. We're not going to bother pulling any of these in at the moment, but you get the idea. I've shown these many, many times on stream. And it's just lovely to have your collection of videos available to you. I even have some of my own that I licensed. Oh, I didn't get paid for them though. I used native internal credits, so I didn't get paid for my own stuff. But it's great to have access to all of those, and of course you can see the status of all of those directly here. And again, no matter where I log in, I'll have access to all of that content, all of those videos wherever I go. And then we have looks. Now this is another Adobe Capture CC module. Looks, for those of you who are unfamiliar, allow you to capture the look, the time, day, lighting, and hue somewhere in your environment, outside or inside, doesn't matter. In fact, if you take a look at some of the looks here, you can see, like, here's one that I captured of my studio environment here. Actually, it's over there in that corner where there's a bit more of the purple and red. I changed the lighting around, but I captured this as a swatch. This is the other corner of the studio. Here's some captures from my front yard. Here's one from Dallas. Here's, again, the desert in January. And it's going to capture the hue and the light, but really that time of day, that emotional connection that we have to color as a LUT. So it creates LUTs. So you can snap LUTs on your phone and Capture CC on iOS or Android, save them as looks to a library. Then I go, oh, you know what? I think I want to apply this desert January look. So let me see. I always forget how you apply this. Okay, just drag and drop. Yeah, drop it right onto there. Okay. And now, of course, it pulls up the Lumetri color panel. And if we go into the Creative tab, you can see that it has now added that Desert January LUT. Okay, we don't like that one. Let's try a different one. Let's go with SF Sunrise in March. Oh, cool. It's March. Let's try that one. Drag that on here. All right, and gives it that particular hue. Okay. And again, you have the ability to adjust intensity. You can manipulate these things however you like. It's entirely up to you. All right. The point is you can create looks and then very quickly and easily drag them onto your media, just like that, okay? So graphics, videos, looks. Motion graphics templates. Okay, now we've talked about these a lot. I just did a stream on this not long ago, right? So these are available in Adobe Stock, and this includes anything and everything from lower thirds, static and animated backgrounds, transitional elements. I'm looking at one here. This one will not, it doesn't go at all with the project that we have, but I just love the way that this one looks. All of those things can be saved or created as motion graphics templates. And more importantly, as I mentioned, you can create stuff in After Effects, and essentially anything that you can build in After Effects can become a motion graphics template. All right, and I'm going to show you proof of that in just a few seconds here. Because what's awesome about this is that, again, if I make a little title sequence intro, or I've got something that I want to keep reusing, I can build it in After Effects, save it as a motion graphics template to a library, and then later when I'm editing, I'm like, oh, where is that? Do I need to dynamically link it? Do I need to open up the After Effects project? No, I've already got the finished version right here. So just to show you that one that we just imported a second ago, right? This is just a little graphical transitional motion graphics template. And again, lower thirds, backgrounds, transitional elements, titles, sequences, social call out boxes, all kinds of cool things, you know, 3D objects. Case in point, let's go ahead and bring in this one here. So you can see this one is called JP Intro. This is for this show that I never really finished called Jace's Places. Kind of like a travelogue show. Created in After Effects. It's 12 megabytes. Let's go ahead and drag this one in. All right. Now, what's cool about this is that this is using, it began as an Illustrator file. I then animated and extruded and expanded all of the layers from the Illustrator file and used the native Cinema 4D 3D render engine, which is in After Effects now. And it allowed me to just very easily create this 3D animation. All right. So this is something that I would use for every intro of my show. So now when I drag that in, it's taking a second to cache it. All right. It's a lot of heavy 3D in this one, so we got to give it a second here. Oh, and I'm also in full quality. I should knock that down to half. Keep in mind, for those of you who are used to After Effects, you know, we have the After Effects playback engine here in Premiere. But just like with After Effects, if you're working with content like this, you want to scrub through it so it'll cache all of those frames. So that's what it's needing to do. And because this is, some pretty heavy 3D, there's some 3D lighting on here, there's animation inside the 3D. It's going very slowly right now. But you're kind of seeing as I'm scrubbing through this, it's evolving and caching those frames so that this will ultimately play more in real time. Performance at this very second is not going very well, but that could be attributed to me not restarting my machine earlier. But you can very clearly see that this is 3D, it's animated, it's doing its thing, and this is now in my library. So wherever I go, this thing's going to be waiting for me, okay? And again, as I stop scrubbing, now we see, full quality of this logo animating in the timeline here, which is, super cool. All right. So we'll come back to this in a couple seconds because I'll be able to show you kind of the native version of this and to show you how we can add these things into the library. But that's a really, really essential thing that we don't talk about enough, is that anything you can build in After Effects can be turned into a shared asset via CC libraries. It's so simple, so easy, and so useful. All right. There we go. All right, still taking a couple seconds here. All right, and there it is, sharpens up. Okay. Okay, so that's your motion graphics templates in libraries. All right, let's keep on moving here. Scroll this up. Okay, now then we have colors, and you'll notice that these are grayed out, not currently supported in Premiere. All right, brushes, same thing. We don't have brushes in Premiere, so your Photoshop brushes or brushes that you've created in Capture or elsewhere, can't bring those in. They don't do anything in Premiere, so that's why they're grayed out. Same with character styles, color themes, 3D models, and patterns. Okay, can't use those here. But these first four, graphics, videos, looks, motion graphics templates, all of these are collaborative elements that you can share really easily. So let's talk about making some of these things collaborative. Okay. All right, so first and foremost, again, if you're using a shared library, here's where this stuff becomes really cool, right? So here's a little shot that I did in LA a couple years ago. So one of the things that I love is I love the font finder module in Capture CC. This really should have been a Capture CC stream, obviously, because I keep talking about it, but it's so freaking useful. As a non-designer, every time I see an awesome font, I want to use it somehow. So now you have the ability to take a picture of that font in Capture CC. It'll find, if not the exact font, the closest match to it in Adobe Fonts, formerly Typekit, and then allow you to synchronize that style directly to a CC library. So for instance, if you've, I love really cool album art, and again, I'm always kind of looking at the fonts that people use in album art. So here's one here. It was from some blues album. I don't exactly know which one I snapped this from, but it found that it was Franklin Gothic URW comp, 32 point, it tells you what the letting and tracking settings were. Now, these are all 32 point because that's, I think, the default size inside of Capture. But with the text layer selected, I can simply double click this, and you'll see now that it actually uses that exact font style directly here. Now I would just, size this up accordingly, right? Similarly, I love Apple Records. Apple Records, of course, the Beatles label, still around today. They use great fonts, very big on Futura. But in fact, this one came up as Lotto, so double click on this. All right, this was the font that was used on the cover of one of Billy Preston's singles. Billy Preston, very famous pianist, organist, played with the Beatles on the Let It Be record and the Get Back single, okay? So character styles, also brushes, right? Now again, I'm no illustrator, but here's a bunch of brushes that I created, and it's funny, I saw this one in here. So years ago, when we were still touring on the road, I remember we went to Swedish television, SVT, and I created a series of brushes from their logo. So again, I can just select this as my brush, and now if I come over here, I've got my brush selected. You can see that it shows up here. All right. We can adjust the brush size. All right, let's make this about 95 pixels. Yeah, you can actually see what it looks like right there. And now I can simply tile some SVT logos onto my image. What a non-designer. Another one. Let's see. This is a peace symbol. Okay. Didn't say they were brilliant. Just said these are brushes that I made. Again, shared. Makes it easy, right? It's always in the library. Little peace signs. Oh, this is super small, so I'd want to make these like way, way bigger. Ooh, that's way too big. Not 4,000 pixels. 500. There we go. Peace sign brushes. Bzz, okay? You have access to all of those, right? So it just makes life really easy. And then, of course, all of your graphics and your color swatches and all of those things, naturally, these will work too. So if I said, apply color overlay to this text layer, I can do that right here. Or this right here, just real easily, right? Your color swatches, all of these things transfer over. So useful. But as I was mentioning, here's where on the design side, this helps people like me and prove it. Oh, Lord, you're not processing non-destructively. Yeah, right. Yeah, we're not keeping any of this. Logos and things, right? I don't design them. That's not my gig. But I constantly need to use this logo. And honestly, I'm doing it for real today because I have neglected to put this into my own library. But more importantly, I want to be able to lend this logo to Terry. So we're going to switch libraries, and let's go to the Jason and Terry library. All right. And right from here, right from the layers panel, I'm simply going to drag it directly into the shared library. And it knows where to go and it knows what to do with it, right? And you can see now it appears right there under graphics, Jason's Places logo, created in Photoshop, type Photoshop, right? It's going to preserve the little alpha channel there so that we can use that as an overlay in my video. So now, when I go back to Premiere, or if Terry's sitting at his desk right now and he wants to bring in this logo, let's go to the Jason and Terry library, and there you go. Right there, right? I mean, that's the best kind of collaboration, as a friend of mine used to joke about, is that you don't have to see the client. You can just use the work, right? So here's the logo. It's placed in the center. Man, that 3D one today is really, it's hitting my system hard. Again, user error here. I should have restarted everything, but I was trying to get the stream getting it going on time. So just wait for that to finish here. In the meantime, let me go and check some questions. Okay, no time for that. We're already ready. Okay, so let me just move this one over here, like that, and grab it just like that, and drag it down. And again, maybe, I don't know if screen is going to work. No, not really. Just do normal, and we'll just drop the opacity a little bit. Okay, let's turn that off. So now we've got this logo, which of course I can extend for the duration however long I want. And it's always there on my video, right? And here's some of the other elements, right? So there were some like default lower thirds that we had built. Drag these down into the timeline. Just some static lower thirds, okay? Which I could move around. Look, I even spelled my name wrong on this one. This is when we did a collab stream in Atlanta, actually. It's always in this library. It's always accessible to me, all right? So unbelievably useful. And again, how did we do it? Right from the layers panel, dragged it right into libraries. Just like that. Photoshop makes it so easy. Images, you're working on an image. You want to be able to access that image. Let me see. I wonder. Let me see. This is my new single cover. Go back to my library here. So I'm loading up a Cloud doc now. So this song is already out, but I have a remix and a remaster of this song, which will be re-releasing in about a month's time. Just finished the cover last week. And let's say I want to be able to use this. Now I wonder, this is a really heavily layered PSD. Look at that. Boom. Drag it in. Now it becomes part of Jason's library. Now I have access to this wherever I'm doing my work. All right? Super awesome. So, just another way to allow you to collaborate while working from home with others and just have your media follow you wherever you're logged in. So if you're logged in your home office or the downstairs bedroom or the laptop while you're doing whatever, as we're all kind of quarantined away at this point in time, this is an awesome way to do it. All right. So let's go to the chats and see if we've got any additional questions here. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. CH Hakim Jut. Gabrielle, how are you doing? Roland Collenberg, there's vector motion in CC19 in 2019. You can scale up vector graphics. Yes, I don't know if you could. That is true. I don't know, however, I don't know that you can scale up the SVGs from Capture in Premiere. Let me see if you can do that. If you drag them in directly, I'm going to test that really quickly while I'm talking about that. But I'm not sure. Let me see. Where did that just go? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong spot. Hold on. I'm with you. Just bear with me here for a second. Yeah, see, I'm not getting the... I know what you're talking about, Roland, but with those SVG graphics, just so that you can see here, because you do have scalability for vectors, but when they're from Capture, and this is a terrible shot to have this on. Oh my God. Hold on, let me move this to something that's not black. That's worse. Any daylight in this video anywhere? Okay, there we go. Fine. Let's do my Beetle one. Yeah, so we're not seeing the vector motion options here. Okay, do we see it in master? No, okay. So yeah, not with this, not with these. You will see that at times, but not from those. By the way, notice right here, here's our file that we just synchronized, right? Now this was huge. That's why you were seeing it spin for a minute there. You can see it's 962 megs. It's an 8K. I mean, it's a massive, massive composite there. So, and you're actually seeing the full PSD right there, which is why it looks like that. Notice type Photoshop, because of course Premiere supports Photoshop files. Now, if I were actually going to work on this in Premiere Pro, I wouldn't just drop this in necessarily from the library. I'd probably import the PSD, so that way I can control the layer separation versus just, adding this to the project or something like that. Okay. All right. Let's see. I see a question on Periscope. I think Adobe Spark is just as underrated as Capture. Pretty much anyone can use these apps. Oh, you're so right, Ant. And that's the thing. Adobe Spark is amazing. And, if you're going to be creating like quick social posts, frankly, there's nothing better. I mean, there may be something better. I don't know. But it's just easy and quick, and it uses Adobe fonts, and it understands text wrapping and all the rules for good design. And there's so many different elements of Spark. It's a really, really good one. Naveed from Toronto, how are you doing? All right. Paulina DG, what's up? Kone Rock. Vector motion seems to work only with Premiere Pro's built-in shapes. Yes, Roland, that's true. So if you're creating them in Premiere Pro in the Essential Graphics panel, you'll have that vector motion option. Correct, yes. Frank, you got to keep them separated. Good one. Good musical reference there. Always points for that. All right. Adrian Christophe, what's up? Sifri Fana, I've joined Photoshop challenges on Behance and made even one poster about coronavirus. Thanks for sharing this platform. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm so glad you were doing that. We did this yesterday. So it was work from home, learn from home. So it was talking about doing stuff on Adobe Live and Behance. So Sifri Fana, that's awesome. So glad you joined the challenge. That's great. Theodore Nash from London, how are you? All right. Steve, you were really close to that leopard. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. So, that's, again, that's Safari. That was, it's a place called Sabi Sabi in Africa, and it is no joke. No joke at all. In fact, here, if we go back for a second, now, of course, everything is playing nicely, too. You get to see that. We were maybe 10 feet away in this shot in an open Jeep. So no roof, no nothing. It was terrifying. And this shot here, By the way, notice the logo and everything is now playing in 3D, as I said. So, you know, it just had to cache those frames. And I don't know why it was taking quite so long before. You can even see, if you pay attention to the S right here, there's a little car there. It's actually driving. I don't know if you can see that on the stream here, but it's actually moving. So again, there's all this animation stored as a motion graphics template. What? This video, let me see if I have the whole thing. Yeah, so check this out. So you're wondering, Steve, you're really close to that leopard. Yeah, he's right below me right here. And if I had the sound on for this, you'd hear the driver say, no sudden movements from the back. Because this leopard, I mean, he's looking right at me right there. Right there. And he or she, I'm not sure. They were, I mean, as high up as my 3 feet. And I'm there with the camera in the dark, in the middle of the bush. It was, which is why I was like, I couldn't even do the focus pull fast enough as it was approaching. It was terrifying. It sprays back there. Must be female then, right? Yeah, so cool. What an amazing creature. I mean, just awesome. All right. Thank you for pointing that out, Steve. Yes, the things we do for our art, right? Absolutely. Meema from Pakistan. Hello. All right. Frank, that is so awesome. Yes. Sweet. Glenn Mayberg. Hey, of course, featuring South Africa. One of the greatest places, one of my favorite places in the entire world. Wrote a song about it, as a matter of fact, which you can find on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, and wherever music is streamed or sold, and it's called Sabi Sabi. Fell in love with South Africa, and yeah, truly one of my favorite countries in the entire world, and just lovely people, lovely atmosphere. We could all learn a little something by traveling to that part of the world for sure. So, okay, everyone, it looks like that's all the questions. So again, if you're working from home, if you're stuck looking for inspiration, of course, you can watch our daily live streams right here. But don't forget Adobe Live, behance.net/live, as well as the daily creative challenges. Learn something new, get more into Photoshop, get into Illustrator, get into XD. And then if you're, again, working from home but needing to work with others and you can't be with everyone all the time. You don't want to be on conference calls. I've been on conference calls all day. My head's killing me. Hey, Terry, can you just give me that logo real fast? I'll be in our library. Just throw the stuff in there. You can throw all those elements in there, and we can work together really efficiently, all right, using Creative Cloud libraries. So I'll be back tomorrow on the stream with some more work-from-home tips and tricks, trying to optimize our time while we're sheltered away and kind of staying safe. So please, everyone, stay safe, be good. Don't hoard all the toilet paper. And until next time, we'll see you. So have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye, everybody.